Welcome back to Insight. We're downtown at Barrett McNagny, and we're talking about some labor law issues that I think all of us, as Tony said here, have a job. And your topic of law probably gets brought up by anyone.
Right. Almost everybody has a job. While I represent companies, the employer, you still run into individuals who have job, friends, family, even executives of the clients you have who often have questions from the employee perspective.
And companies right now are in a bit of I guess it's just an adjustment phase, trying to figure out who's exempt, who has to get overtime pay. I mean, it's a kind of shaky ground, I guess.
Right. That's the hottest topic in my area right now. Effective December 1, we've got a change in the salary levels for exemption. And so 2014, President Obama directed the Department of Labor to take a look at the regulations on who is exempt and what they're paid. And this is the latest change, the first one since 2004. And the primary changes are to the salary required to be paid for someone you're going to claim as exempt.
Is there an easy rule of thumb that an employer could follow, or is it not that easy?
Well, it's fairly easy on the salary, says the lawyer.
Okay.
The salary, which is currently $455 per week, is being bumped December 1 to $913 per week. So you have a little more than a doubling. Mm-hmm. So that piece isn't all that complicated. At the last minute, the department did allow for 10% of that $913 a week to be covered by non-discretionary bonuses or commission. So $91.30 of that can be squared up each quarter based upon a non-discretionary bonus or commission. So that's the only tricky part about the salary portion of the test. But I think it's critical to note a lot of employers think if I pay the employee that $913 a week, that makes them exempt, and that's not the case. You have to do exempt duties as well. So there's a menu of exemptions that might apply. The employee has to be engaged in one of those jobs and be paid the salary.
And are those cut and dry jobs, or are those all have gray areas as well?
Vast canyons of grayness, one might say. It's not the job title that matters, it's the actual task that the employee's doing. What are their primary job responsibilities? How much time do they spend doing these various job tasks that qualify for exemption from the overtime?
How many calls a day, or I don't want to, how many, but I imagine this is a number one concern right now, as people call and ask you for advice.
Since the rule came down, I started out with maybe a couple of calls a week, and over the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's literally 2 or 3 calls a day, and sessions on site with clients reviewing job by job. What is the employee doing? How often are they doing it? What type of discretion do they have? Who are they supervising? Walking through the factors that might make somebody exempt under the broad baskets of exemptions.
And people may not realize that there's been changes in OSHA, correct?
Correct. OSHA recently came out with the revisions under their record-keeping rules, but within that they tucked away a requirement that you cannot have a policy that requires employees to immediately report injury, because that deters them from reporting if they didn't think they were injured and later thinking they were. And they also put in a requirement that drug testing after an incident will require some type of reasonable suspicion on the employee.
Good things to know, even if you're not an employer. As an employee, these are good things to know. If you'd like to find out more about labor law issues, whether you're on the employee or employer side, contact Barrett McNagny. We'll be right back on Insight.